Hey guys, it's Jessica, and today we're going to have a super honest chat about assigning speech therapy homework, and I'm going to share a few tips to help you maybe change your speech therapy homework practices so that you can be a little bit more strategic and maybe it will actually get done. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 scenarios, and I want to see if any of them sound familiar to you. Scenario number 1. You are working in an outpatient setting. You've worked really hard with little Johnny the whole session, and you go out in the last 5 minutes, you talk to mom and you say, hey, this is what we worked on today. Try to do more of this at home. And mom kind of looks at you with like a glazed look. You may say, try to say more R words, or practice your words in the car, or try to practice your belly breathing this week, or talk about emotions more, just to give you a few examples. That's scenario number 1. Scenario number 2, you're a school-based SLP and you have a caseload of 60 students and you are sitting at your desk staring at all of the files, digitally, paper, whatever, and you're feeling extremely overwhelmed, wondering how on earth I'm going to send home speech therapy homework for 60 kids. That's impossible unless you're super strategic. Scenario number 3. You have your act together. You are super duper awesome and you're sending home your speech therapy homework. Go you, you're great. But mom and dad are not as on top of things as you would like, and they're not doing the homework with little Johnny. And so you're now sitting there wondering, why am I even wasting my time sending home Johnny's homework and like putting it together when it's not going to get done anyways? I'm not wasting my time with that. Now, have you experienced any of these scenarios? Do any of them resonate with you? And what do we do about them? So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share a few tips and strategies to hopefully help you be a little bit more strategic so that you're being more efficient with your time. And when you do send it home, it's actually getting done. Okay, I do want to be honest. I am not perfect at assigning homework, but I have gotten a lot better over the years. And so I'm going to share just a few of my tips to help you hopefully be a little bit better and more strategic as well. So without further ado, tip number 1, assign very short activities with very clear instructions that have been written down. Don't just verbally tell mom at the end of the session, okay, we need to work on saying more R words this week, or read more, or something along those lines. We are all guilty of that, guys. Maybe not all of us. I have been guilty of that, okay? As a newer SLP, here's why this doesn't work. First of all, mom is probably super busy herself. She is going to be very overwhelmed by you just giving her this vague instruction that she doesn't know how to do because she's not a speech therapist. So that's problem number 1 with just kind of giving a vague outline. Problem number 2, the reason it always needs to be written down, like I said, mom might forget what we say. So when we write it down, she can go back and refer to it later, which is great. Very short activities. Make sure they're short. Mom doesn't have time to do speech therapy all day long. She may want to, she may not even want to do it, because probably when she works with little Johnny at home, little Johnny probably doesn't want to do his speech homework. So when we give this really long assignment, she's now choosing to fight a battle with little Johnny that's really not fun for her. So keep it short, keep it simple, and write down exactly what you want mom to do. Now, I will also say this does not have to be anything fancy. I have been known to write down stuff on a sticky note, a piece of notebook paper that I rip out of a spiral notebook, and I might write down, for example, a very specific set of word lists for mom to try. Or I might write down a specific book that I want mom to look up, or 3 specific emotions that I want mom to talk about this week. Very specific, very short, and I like to give a time frame. Do this every day. Do this 3 times a week. Do this for 5 minutes. It should not take them more than 5 minutes to just review what we're working on and support it at home, okay? Tip number 2. Be very strategic with how you're planning your speech therapy sessions. So what I mean by that is I very rarely actually print off homework to send home. What I like to do is if I like to plan it into my speech therapy session. So I like to look for crafts, games, or worksheet printables, reading passages, things like that are really easy we work on it in speech together so the student knows how to do it. And then I send it home and mom works on it this week with a little sticky note on it telling her, hey, practice these words from this game we played 5 times a day, or 5 times, whatever. Or, hey, here's this craft. It's got these fun little words in it. Practice these words every day this week, okay? So I have not gone to any extra hassle to print off any other homework. I'm just using what I've already used in therapy, and I actually feel a little better doing this because I know the kid can work on these words and can say these words, and these are good words for the student to practice because he's already practiced them with me. And I'm not wasting my time finding extra homework to send home. And like I said before, if I've not done an activity, like say I've just played like a board game, then I'll rip out that piece of notebook paper, I'll write down whatever I want mom to work on, and I will send it home. Tip number 3, start a speech therapy folder. You've heard me say now several times, I send this home, I send this home. Here's how I send it home. I get a folder. I write the kid's name on it. I put it in the folder, send it in the backpack, send it home. It works great. I usually like to start at the first meeting. I have parent meetings, but you can do this in the first IEP meeting. Anytime you're first talking to the parent about how therapy is going to work, you're going to say, I'm going to send Johnny home with a speech folder. This is going to be a great way for us to communicate, and this is how I'm going to send his homework home. Okay, tip number 4. Say that Johnny's mom is one of those moms who is having a hard time getting the speech homework done. It happens. Let's talk about it. What I like to do is I like to ask parents for their input the next time we have a meeting, or sometimes I'll call them and I'll say, I'm wondering, are you doing your homework? How's that going? What can I do to help you? How can I make this easier for you? What's not working? Is Johnny fighting you on it? Does Johnny not want to do it? Are you just overwhelmed? Is it too much? Am I sending too much? What I've found is this does a couple of things. First, it holds mom accountable. She's going to know, ooh, hey, Jessica's realizing that I'm not doing my homework. Maybe I should get on that. Second, it gives her a chance to take some buy-in and have some buy-in in the therapy process. And she can say, hey, this isn't why it's working for me. And that's going to challenge you as a therapist to get better. And that is a good thing for you. It might make you feel uncomfortable. You might get a little defensive for a second. That's okay. But then just say, okay, this is a growth opportunity. What can I do? How can I tweak things to make it just a little bit easier for mom? Because my job is to serve the little boy or the family and mom. That's my job, is to serve them and help them to get better. One important thing to note though, when you're having this conversation with mom, be kind and be polite. Sometimes it is so easy to be a little, I'm going to say this, it might sound mean, but a little judgy as a therapist. Why is she not doing this? This is clearly important. I've spent all this time working on it. I know how to help her kid. This is what he's going to need to do. Why won't mom do it? Remember what I mentioned before, mom's got a lot of things on her plate right now. So let's just be gracious to mom and not judgy, and just use our kind, polite tones and really come from it as a place of, I'm trying to help. I really want to help you. And mom or whoever the caregiver is going to respond a lot better than if we come across sounding a little bit judgy, and that's not cool. Okay, one more quick tip that is going to relate specifically to articulation therapy homework. And that is, make a template that you can just use and modify every week. So here is what my speech therapy homework template looks like specifically for articulation. I do other things I like to do handouts a lot for early childhood intervention and pragmatic language, which I actually have some that I can link in the description below if you're interested in really good parent handouts. This is just something you'll have to make yourself. I don't have a handout or a link for this, but it's a template. And what I like to do for articulation is I like to do a listening list, a talking list, and I actually do a nursery rhyme if they're in preschool. Every week the parent's going to get this form home. It looks exactly the same. Here's why I like this system. This is the listening list. I have specifically thought through strategic words that I want that particular child to work on, because it's going to be different for every kid. That's kind of the bummer. I love TPT, and obviously I sell stuff and create it on there, but you can't always customize it for the kid. So I do a listening list. I like the listening list because it requires absolutely nothing from the child. It can still be beneficial. Mom and dad read through the listening list every day. Now, is it as helpful as the child actually practicing and saying words? No, I'm not gonna, don't argue with me about that. I know that that's not the best, but it is better than nothing. So when you have a kid who doesn't want to do their speech homework and they're fighting mom on it, mom can just read over the list when Johnny's in the bathtub or they're riding in the car. And it's still helpful because it's that auditory bombardment. The more times we hear words and our sounds, it is going to help. It does help some. Now, what I do is I take the listening list and I then make a talking list. I pick maybe 5 or 6 of the words that the student can say really well, and I write those in the talking list. If Johnny is going to comply and he's going to be like, hey, I'll participate, Johnny can practice saying these words 5 times a day, or 3 times a day, or 1 time a day, whatever works for that kid. And they're words that he's already practiced really well with me, so I know he's not going to be saying them wrong all week by practicing them with mom. Finally, like I said, I assign a nursery rhyme every week for mom to read or say, recite, sing with the child, because that helps with phonemic awareness. It helps with things like rhyming. It helps with some of those word patterns. And if you can create a template for yourself that just requires really slight modification every week, chances are you can reuse that template with some of your kids if you've got 65 kids. So that is my other tip. If you like this video, please like it, and please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That would be super helpful to me, and share this with anybody you know. Like I said, the parent handouts that I like to send home, I am linking those in the description as well, so that if you want to check them out, you are welcome to do that as well. Thanks.